Damn, I need to find my anger from last week over to make this sound good.
Oh, yeah. All right, get back in the zone.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Trapped in the Mists, a Curse of Strahd production on the RPG Storytelling Myths of Gaia Twitch channel and YouTube channel. But we resume our story inside this demiplane of dread. Welcome to Barovia, the land with no sun, and whose skies are always overcast with the thick clouds of the mists. Welcome to Barovia. As it is now, so has it been for decades, centuries passing as has each before it. The people here are born, they live, and they die. Some find themselves unlucky enough to live through another turning of the cycle, when the mists and the shadowy creatures that inhabit them deem it time to wake the Count from his slumber and capture the souls from beyond their borders, transporting them into this demiplane to entertain or perhaps to torture the denizens here. And this is where our story continues. Last episode, Ivor, what happened?
Real quick, DM, if you could, bring us back to the map. If you still have it, of the bridge.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do.
After traveling through, what was the passage?
Salenka Pass.
After traveling
you
through
guys are
Salenka,
on Salenka Pass currently.
after traveling down Salenka Pass, the party encountered a blockade. Two statues of not Valkyries, um, Vikings,
Shield Maidens.
shield maidens, with gargoyles on top, and way in the distance, even higher, there were two statues of
There were two Shield Maiden warrior statues directly in front of you, and then in the watchtower behind the gate there were some more up that you only saw like the busts and up, but you assume that there were more statues up above there as well, at the top of the watchtower.
the party tried to make their way by and tried some interesting tactics. We tried talking to them. We tried detecting magic. We tried climbing around, and nothing really worked until someone tried to do something. Upon Riss trying to go around, the statues didn't really react until Nedro tried to use Mage Hand. They reacted to that. And Ivor got the bright idea to flank, and Ivor and Nedro both used Mage Hand and made the Vikings, the Shield Maidens, clash and dispel the fire for about a minute. Just enough for the hero to save him. Misty knows Abysmal, which was some text that was on the firewall, and was able to read it with a few tries between Nedro and Ivor. And upon a try or two, able to speak the passage. If you could go through that again if you want to, DM.
Yeah, the
Or we can skip
passages they
past
got. Yeah, we don't have to recount the passage specifically. If you don't have it in front of you, that's fine, not a worry.
making it past the fire, through the fire and flames, across the bridge. The party finds themselves traveling through harsh conditions, blistering winds, until they come upon some ruins. Interested, they try to travel in, but before then, interrupted, not only by Lycan, but a full-blown werewolf. They fought them off valiantly, trying everything that they could to protect not only themselves, but their mounts. Amongst the chaos, all was well. But there was a casualty. A minor one might say. But nevertheless, Cesar powered down. Many conversations were had, arguments, bit of discourse between the party. The two Lycans were laid to rest, but the werewolf, diminished, still remains bound and watched over.
To be clear, all three of them are werewolves. One's just on roids.
Yes.
True.
Yes, the ambushers were permanently killed, but the Juggernaut was only knocked into unconsciousness, presumably with the intent to question and just interrogate as soon as you guys had a moment. But yes, interrupted as you were exploring this bit of watchtower. You guys handled this threat quite quickly, and are left breathing heavily in the snow as the winds continue to pick up and begin to howl through these mountain passes, whistling and screaming almost a little bit as the weather continues to worsen. And noticeably, it's not like it's not like it's going to be a blizzard in 2 minutes, but it is quickly descending.
Following the conversation that I had with Riss, as she's heading back towards the group and everybody's going inside the tower to explore more, I'm going to reach down into my pouch, pull out a small little piece of copper wire, and give it a little rub, and start focusing on Riss. And I'll stretch out my hand a little bit and kind of point at where I think she is. Casting message. And I'll say, my heart aches, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've mastered the art of performing emotions. But with you, I can no longer turn them on and off. The darkness of the world has been made bright by your smile. The heaviness of the swamps, my home, now seem light and effervescent as the tingling chill of the snow-covered Mount Gacus. My soul calls to you despite my dark inebriation.
Nedro's adding love bombing to his list of things about Misty.
I don't know. I don't know if you get a response from Riss is just kind of like stunned into silence.
You immediately think of a couple of slam poetry sort of groups that would be great date nights.
And after having sent the message, she's going to walk up further up the path, out of sight of everyone.
So you're headed further up the path. Everyone else, in the
Correct.
meantime, what's everybody else doing? Are you guys headed back into this watchtower to do a final bit of exploration?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Riss, I think it was real Ivor, not Southern Ivor, and Ned were heading in to continue exploring while Gawain, um, Southern Ivor watched over the roided out werewolf.
But
Yeah.
we had to go back on that because Southern Ivor has to stay close to real
Guys, I thought
Ivor.
we were calling him Echo.
Yeah,
Echo,
Echo.
yes.
Yeah. Um, because
Wait, is it
Southern
100 feet
equals
or is it 60?
there's no limit, but Echo does not have his own line of sight for the purposes of acting independently. So Ivor has to lead
Oh,
and then command his Echo to do it. So I think Ivor was going to stay outside.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yes, with Gawain.
Okay.
okay,
So it's just Ned and Riss going inside.
got it.
Gotcha. Okay.
My only thing is they may need a lockpick, and I'm not practiced enough yet, so
I
I
mean,
think
if we need a lockpick, we can just call out. It's not a life or death situation, I hope.
mm,
I
fair.
hope.
And your primary locksmith
God, someone
is
open this now. We're gonna
way
die, you
far
know?
away.
All right, so you guys are headed back in, up the stairs, and I'm realizing now that I did the levels of this incorrectly, so we'll just have to say that we'll just have to like sort of retcon how the stairs work on these maps because I put you guys on the
On the
wrong
stairs.
level
Not allowed.
initially. All right, so you guys are headed up. Looking around the base, this first floor, nothing much. Seems to be pretty empty.
So wait, oh,
Let
That was
me.
funny. I just saw Ned disappear.
You guys head over here. And I'll just bring. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Bring from the words. That's so weird. Anyway, so yes, so you guys arrive up the stairs, and you can either go into this room, or you can continue to wiggle through into this side.
hey, how big is this
Um,
place?
it's several stories up.
Oh
So
shit.
there's another set of stairs going up on this level, which, like I said, I mixed them up. It doesn't actually show it on this map, but we'll say that this comes before the next level. So
Okay, well
there
now
are
I hope
stairs
it's safe.
upward somewhere
It
else.
was just one floor. I wasn't concerned before, but might be a really hungry vampire behind any of these doors. All right.
Yeah,
Guess I'll
I
open
guess
this.
I'll open this door.
this one, go for it. All right, let me pull this up. Upper floor. The upper level of this tower is an icebox with windows set in almost every wall. There is a. You guys saw the dire wolf's head above the stone hearth. Wind whipping down the chimney howls almost as though giving life to this dire wolf once again. In here, this appears to be I believe this is like a cell of some kind. Um, like if just a quick needed to throw somebody in there, but this doesn't seem to have been used in years, maybe decades. The sheets are all rotted and moth-eaten. The wood that makes up this cot that the blankets and things are resting on is all of the softwood is eaten out and sort of been worn away by time, and it's all super rough and bumpy, like an old pier. The chains that hold it up are rusty. There's a bucket in the corner that seems to be frozen down.
See, Steven, I don't always need to say something. I just
It
knowingly smile, and Dalton knows exactly what I was talking about.
I'm ashamed to think that to initially think that you thought my description was cool, and that's why you were smiling, and then I realized what was going on. All right.
I mean, I do think it's cool. Someone should be, but like, yeah.
But yes, there doesn't appear, unless you guys want to give it a go ahead and give me an investigation check.
I have a question, DM.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just set decoration, or are there actually keys on this table right here?
I'm sure there are keys on the table. This was a bit of a holding cell of that's the word I was looking for, holding cell of some kind.
I got a 26 on that investigation.
Ooh.
All right, well, I got a 16. I'm gonna do the shit. They got
Nice,
all.
nice. Both of you guys sort of just give the room a quick pass. And underneath, sort of blown into the corner, are delicate pieces of parchment that are sort of just like what remains, and fragments of perhaps someone's scribblings. But as you glance over them, one of the fragments says something to the effect of, "I've been here for 14 days, 18 days. I can't remember. I can barely register the passage of time, let alone what the effects of this cocktail may have had on my body. Perhaps this self-isolation is going to yield fewer results than I had initially anticipated. I certainly hope that this research is not in vain."
Quick question. Any chance the handwriting looks familiar to any handwriting Nedro has seen in this land before?
No.
So it does. Okay. Right. So
You guys flip to another fragment, and it says, "Partial success. It appears that the sunlight is much less abhorrent in this trial. However, it does still seem to degrade my physical form in a short manner. Further testing will be required, as I have yet to be free from whatever, or it does still degrade this form. Further testing is required to find a more permanent solution."
Is there any more substantial information in any of the other fragments, specifically referring to who this person might have been and what the experiments were?
I'll give you. I'll let you roll for it. Roll me a d12.
Oh boy.
It's going to be staggered.
Eh,
And so you said you're looking for what the experiments were and or who this is.
yeah. That's a 4.
4.
That's enough.
I will say that is that just hits the first threshold. It is other writings talk about how to slack the thirst as well as other regenerative capabilities and other capabilities that you would immediately associate with vampirism. Somebody, and from that it's clear that somebody was experimenting on how to reverse the
Mm-hmm.
how to undo this curse.
Okay.
But it is unclear who it was and what exactly the trials were from these scraps of notes.
Oh shit. There's
All right. As you guys are looking around and comparing these notes, we'll jump back outside with Gawain and Ivor. The Juggernaut, not vampire, werewolf, returned to his humanoid form, is still a bear of a man. And he is hogtied pretty securely. Unconscious still. Are you guys doing anything in particular? Are you guys just waiting around for him, or what's the what's going on out here?
I'm going to just look over towards Ivor and Echo. I'm gonna wake him up. Just cover me in case. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and, from my position on Orion, touch the Juggernaut and put 1 point of lay on hands into him.
He is battered, bruised, and shirtless, face down in the falling snow. Just sort of like rolls his head.
Oh no, I had him.
Oh,
I
you
had
did.
taken a piton and
You had him
tied it,
strung
so
up.
he's not.
That's right.
Yeah, so he's a little more comfortable and less, face down in the snow.
Mm-hmm. And he starts like
Be easy,
butching
friend. Be easy. It's all right. It's all right. I understand
he
why
growls at you as a man.
I understand. Are you in control of yourself, or are you still a rabid beast? Because I can have a discussion with a man.
He fixes you with a glance and a look that holds such venom as only a man can have.
Did you attack us because of any reason? Or was it simply you came across us and you were hungry?
He sort of like cocks his head for a second. What do you mean, for a reason? Isn't that reason enough?
I happen to be friends with quite a number of Lycans, including one of your kind. I would wonder why I know you're not with them, because if you were, you wouldn't have attacked us. So I wonder why a rogue Lycan would want to attack us rather for any reason other than chance.
Or do
We
you
have-
mean the hunters who seek to, they... Where is this acquaintance of yours? Let me go and I'll prove who's the superior hunter.
DM, just for record, any
Mhm.
smoke?
No.
Okay, yeah, just worth an ask.
Just fire.
Yeah, just flames.
Um, can I make an insight check on this dude?
You may. What are you looking to try to discern?
Is he just gonna go hurt more people if we let him go?
Go ahead and roll.
Red one. It is an 18 plus dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Short answer is possibly. Longer answer. So as you're looking at him, there's always the chance, right? This guy is just as much of a beast as he is a man, and he does not appear to be of the same mind as the keepers of the Fang, who subjugate the beast for the purpose of serving society. This creature is, it's a wolf in man's clothing in many ways, but he referenced the hunters, which you assume to be the keepers,
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
in a way that makes it sound, which not only indicates that he's familiar with them, but that there's at least one other faction that he belongs to who is at odds with them. So there's the hint of a civilization here, of some sort of society almost, which may hold him back from just slaughtering en masse, but he is a threat, and he always will be. He's probably not going to kill for sport, necessarily.
But he might definitively kill out of hunger because he can't control shit.
Oh, for sure. That's never going to be off the table with this guy.
The reason that I ally myself with the Keepers of the Fang is that they seek to serve the greater good by virtue of sacrifice and diligence and duty and control over the beast.
Spits on the snow. Look where I got him. They're dying remnants of a dead order, and they're the last of several. You know, there were others. There were so many others. And there used to be much more. The fangs and the feathers are all that's left.
Fangs and feathers.
Have you ever seen where they call their home the little dog house? It's a ruin. Do you think it was always a ruin? Or do you think maybe it was a lost battle, perhaps? They live in the squalor of their failure. And they'll die in that squalor, like the dogs they are.
Who do you work for? Obviously, there's some greater faction that we are unaware of.
I don't
You
work
were-
for anyone. I was hungry. I'm always hungry. We are all always hungry. And if we are not fed, our hunger will roll through this valley. And you will all taste it. We will taste you.
Where are you based out of?
Do I look like an idiot?
I'd personally like to know where to not go in this godforsaken place.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Run away and hide. We'll find you eventually.
We're not hiding. We're biding our time and building friendships and alliances. Things need to change in Barovia.
That's what the dealer said. And now look at him.
Sorry, DM, the who?
The dealers.
Have I ever heard of? No? Okay, didn't think so. Who are the dealers?
Give me a persuasion check. Or intimidation.
If it's intimidation, you gotta walk that back and replay it. That didn't sound scary.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with persuasion.
Okay.
Damn.
Gawain is trying to choose kindness.
Damn his heart.
Keyword trying.
He's being nice so far.
That is really good. 27.
27. He says, that's what the dealers said. Now look at him. Who are the dealers? Why don't you ask the fangs who the dealers are? I'm sure they'll love to talk about them.
So I'm assuming they have some sordid history. They might very well be the order that crippled the Keepers of the Fang. Not killed, but definitively wounded.
That looks like a lethal wound to me, friend. And he doesn't like spit saliva, but he spits that word at you. And it just falls out of his mouth in a mocking tone. He is smart enough to realize the situation, but he looks down on your civility, and it's obvious in this interaction.
Sorry, thank you for turning on the notes. I wish I could know for certain that you would never harm an innocent if I were to let you go. Can you promise me that with your truest intention, that you would work after this to control the beast and never intentionally harm another being for as long as you live?
He pauses and sort of looks down and away as his thoughts revert inward for a second. If I say yes, are you gonna let me go?
I have several questions, but it would be a great leap towards that end, yes. Fuck it. I'm gonna look at this individual. What is your name, friend?
I am Gamaliel.
Gamaliel. It is nice to make your acquaintance. I would ask that you not resist the magic that I am about to cast. It sorts out the liars and makes it so that I can know what you're saying is true in your heart and not just hollow words. I will know if you do. And I will tell you that will be a great leap back away from our goal here.
And he sort of snarls at you, but he doesn't say anything.
Please. And Gawain is just there's just like a little, his eyes are very much watering up. Please. Please don't resist. I would hate to hurt you again. And I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Okay.
God, I'm really getting some fucking use out of this spell.
Yeah, you are.
As you cast this, let's cut back to upstairs. The two of you guys, having just paged through the those note fragments in this holding cell, where are you headed?
There's nothing else in this holding cell, right? Like
Not
we.
in the correct, not in the holding cell.
Okay. I have questions, but we can come back to them. I want to finish searching first because there might be answers here.
You want to
Uh,
continue searching in this room in particular, you mean?
no, the tower.
Got it. Okay. All right. So I'll start it out. As I'm doing that, Nedro, not necessarily looking at you, but just like as we're searching. So, if you don't mind me asking, what are your thoughts on Misty?
Complicated.
Well, that I could certainly tell was the case.
There's it feels like there's a level of understanding. She also knows what it is to be alone. I don't know how to describe it. I'm still new to a lot of these feelings.
Feelings like that can certainly be complicated, or so I've heard. No personal experience on that end, but
No?
nothing yet. But I'm fairly young, maybe in time.
Do you want that to happen?
Oh, I don't even know anymore. Um, I mean, I think prior to this whole staff situation, it was probably on my mind, but since then, it haven't even really thought about it. And realistically speaking, it doesn't make any sense to.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't either before. I wasn't thinking about any relationships, regardless of romance or I don't know. You guys and Fiona have shown me a lot, I guess.
Did Nedro
It's
hear Misty confirm Fiona was her name? I forgot that conversation took a place apart from him.
Uh,
no, that was in
th-
the zone of truth.
that was in the zone of truth
Correct.
interrogation.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot that happened there or just like just now. Okay.
Baby, lay down. Lay down. Sorry, my dog is like staring at me.
I was really hoping
She
you
was
were
like
going to
huffing.
say
That's why I kept looking over. She was like huffing at me, and I'm like, "What do you need? Just lay down. Lay down, baby."
They're talking to their roommate, actually.
Okay.
I really
Okay.
enjoy that Sarah's in the Brady Bunch box right next to Riss.
Mm.
At
Uh,
least on my end.
she moved so that she's laying on my pillow. So, if anyone was curious. No, sorry. But no, yeah, so
Mm. Yeah. I was like, no, I suppose those kind of things that are furthest thing from my mind these days. That and it would be a waste of their time. But with that being said, I guess especially coming from someone who just admitted to having not been in a relationship nor seeing himself being in one. When Gawain used that spell to have us all speak the truth, I will say at that point I had no reason to distrust Misty. That was kind of never a concern for me. Even when she very easily dodged the questions, I didn't think so either. I mean, we're all entitled to our own privacy and not having to share things. So that wasn't an issue either. Gawain's claim of the shadow thing, I mean, I don't doubt he's seeing it. I just can't see for sure what it means. So that in itself didn't seem to alert me, especially because she's been so helpful. But today's situation is the first time I saw something that it's not just distrust, it's just a very deep level of it.
no, yeah, I don't get me wrong. A lot of the complicated feelings are coming from what happened. I don't.
I mean, look, I know I lost my cool there, but honestly, I don't apologize for that. I think my reaction and the anger behind it was appropriate.
No, I
But
would.
what I would say is my biggest concern isn't simply, well, it's multifactorial. Look, one, for no reason at all, she hurt one of our companions when there was easily a situation where that wasn't necessary. She could have easily escaped that area without resorting to something that would hurt one of our companions. If her intention was to simply do some kind of damage, she could have also made choices that would have hurt one of them without putting herself in danger. There's that. Secondly, she admitted that she also did it because she thought she could heal them, which is kind of a red flag to me if you're saying, "Oh, I only hurt you because I can make it better immediately." That's generally not something you want from anyone in your life. And thirdly, when she was called out on it, there was absolutely no remorse. And she got defensive to an extreme level, even though anyone can see she was wrong. I don't want to tell you who or what to pursue, but it's more of just keep those things in mind. my trust in Misty was broken from just all three of those things and the way she reacted.
No,
It's just
I don't I don't mean to ask you any of you to trust her, especially after what happened with Andrzej. Like we talked a little bit, and I don't think you are as much a transgressor on these accounts as uh, Gawain is per se. But when we talked, she mentioned that there's been all of this talk of Miss of Misty needing to jump through hoops to get our trust and receiving very little in return, which I do think is fair. And not to say that because I know you just said that this is this most recent thing that has broken her trust, your trust in her. I'm I'm being careful, I promise. I don't want to do anything rash or, you know, to do anything that will end up hurting any of you guys. But I want to explore. I need I need to learn more about who I am. And I think this is a way to do it, and a way I want to try and do it. And I'm not happy with Misty for what she did. And I went and we talked, and I wasn't. I told her like no uncertain terms that like this was not. I don't think anyone is happy with what happened. She did tell me something when we talked, but I do not wish to break her trust because I don't know if she wanted me to tell everyone. I'll ask her later or ask her to tell you all later. I don't think she is remorseful, but I wonder if that is more a facet of her as a person than her in this moment, if that
I
makes
would
sense.
I would say either of those reasons is still a red flag to me.
It's true.
And again, I don't mean to tell you what to do, and I absolutely won't. But aside from that red flag we just mentioned, I think the more important one to keep in mind is they're a person willing to hurt somebody just because they feel like they can make it better later. I don't think that's like the kind of person you want to keep around very close in any context. But I do understand when you can make a connection with someone who has something in common with you.
Yeah. I
As as for her words about potentially jumping through hoops, well, I would say the only time that was the case was Gawain's spell. which I'm not gonna sugarcoat. That was kind of not kind of that was some subjecting someone to that spell, even if you told them they can not resist, is a big deal. So I get that. I wouldn't say there were any big hoops unless I'm forgetting something.
I think it is more just hearty demeanor, and those might be more my words than what we actually talked about. Because IRL, it's been a week. Uh, but no, I think it's more just trust has to be earned rightfully, and we've, as a group, have been burned, and so trust is harder to our trust is harder to earn sometimes, and I think she has just been feeling that, and that constant distrust has just been affecting her.
I mean, weirdly enough, when that's an issue, you try and be on your best behavior, not kill an ally.
True.
So I'm not saying that she was wrong to feel that. I just don't think it changes what just happened.
No, and I'm not.
And I'll tell you this, and I don't know if it really does matter in the grand scheme of things, but when I say my trust in her is broken, I mean potentially permanently. The discussion we had, which again involved a lot of yelling on my part, and her reaction, had she responded differently, I don't think my trust would be as broken as it is now. But it was red flag after red flag after red flag in that discussion. And you just mentioned that you don't believe she felt remorse still, which to me just makes it even worse. I'll continue working with her, of course, if need be, and if the party would like to. But if she felt before that perhaps there was a wall in terms of trust, at least from my end, she'll actually feel distrust as before. There will be no question to it. I'm not, I can play pretend when necessary, but I'm not gonna spend the majority of my day doing so.
No, it's understandable, and that is your. Everything I said was not to try and make you trust her again. That
Oh,
is what
I don't think it was, and I appreciate that, by the way.
yeah, I guess more just venting, you know, keeping the air clear between us and where we stand, I guess.
Of course.
I appreciate the friendship that has come with, you know, everything.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Which is also why I wanted you to keep all those things in mind that I said.
Of course, I
I'll support
appreciate you looking out for me.
Mhm. I'll support you either way.
I definitely want to. I definitely feel that the conversation, that, at least that Fiona and I had, was not complete. There are things that I could have said better and things I didn't say that I should have said. So I'll let you know. I think, taking the moment and stepping back is probably a good to revisit. But anyway, the rest of this tower.
Oh yeah, look, a door over
Hey, look at
there.
the door.
Before we open the door, anything in particular in this section?
As you guys glance around, this table has a ring of keys on it. It has a tome that
Ooh.
is sort of bound with this star of
Is
uh,
this is where we
braided. Go ahead.
No, this isn't where we found. Sorry. Wrong wrong thing. I
Okay.
thought this is where we found the fancy, like the Tome of Strahd. For a moment,
Ah, no, no,
my
no.
brain did a bad. Sorry. Wrong tower.
They all just start mixed coalescing into one tower after a time. Oh, hold up.
All right. So we
I think
can,
Case.
while Casey's on the phone, we can cut
Yeah.
back to. Oh, just kidding. I think he's coming back.
Yeah, just
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
Cool.
Sorry.
Perfect.
You said there was a book with what?
Yes. So there's this book that you can see on the map. Has a bit of like a star symbol with this twisted and braided, like long grass, almost like hemp cordage. Um, and then there's a wrap up at the top with a lock on it, as well as, like I said, this ring of keys, a an old glass that looks like it once had wine in it, but it sat out and frozen slash dried to the point where it's like stained the glass and like the goblet is now forever like unusable anymore. Um, but yeah, that's what's on the table here. The tome that is on the table is locked.
Are there keys on the table? I heard something about keys on the table.
Yes. Yeah, there's a ring with keys, but as you pick it up and sort of compare it, these keys are much too large to fit this lock.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take the keys anyways. Um, this
I was gonna read the
book,
book. Yeah.
it's locked. How old is this book looking like? What is the condition of like the binding slash the lock?
Not great. It looks like it's been out here as long as everything else.
So, and theoretically, I could just break the lock.
You could try.
I'll try.
All right. Any particular way, or are you just trying to muscle it?
Wizard strength check.
Oh
Muscle wizard
God.
casts fist.
I
I
might
cast
attempt to
iron.
break the like yeah, I guess I'd originally attempt to just
Oh no, it doesn't show up. It chroma keys it out. It says you can
Oh,
certainly try.
try. Yeah. I'll attempt to muscle open the lock at first. Do I get any bonus if I get my knife out and try to use it as like leverage?
Yes, I will say.
What if they
Cool.
hold one in the book and I hold the other, and then we both like start pulling?
Pulling out pulling out a knife. I'll let you do dexterity with advantage.
Okay,
Ooh.
cool. We like that. Because my 7 strength was scaring me for a second there. Ooh, I rolled like shit. I rolled a 2 and a 3. So
Oh
that's
no.
a 6
No.
total.
It's a what?
A 6 total.
Oh boy. Um Okay. Hold on. What happened to the music?
The lid.
Oh, there it is. Um, it's not working. You're really going at it, and it's it's not budging.
Just embarrassing myself in front of Ned. That's just what's happening here. But I'll put it in my bag and we'll look at it later. It's fine.
If only you had a rogue with you.
Riss, I have to ask for an intelligence check. I don't think I can get away with it without asking for one of these.
God, okay.
Nedro made a side eye check.
Oh, now I roll good. Is it just flat intelligence?
Yeah.
24.
You find out it was a push, not a pull.
It's a push. Amazing. That's my favorite joke.
So says the sorcerer about a sliding door.
That's one of my finest moments as a DM. Just gotta say. So those of you in the chat, this was pre-stream. Somebody really was just going for it, strength check after strength check on a push door, and they were yanking on it. It was great. It may or may not have been the paladin.
It was me. I'd like to say I was just role playing the low intelligence character, but that was all me, baby.
It was great. Okay.
Okay.
But yes, with the 24, your first instinct was to try to use the knife as leverage because this metal is probably weak. But this latch is anchored into the book itself. So you could probably
I just cut
peel the
latch.
metal off of the book, and like that's the weakest link in the chain. You weren't going at the optimal point.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'll let you re-roll if you want to try to like
Yeah.
like pull like remove the locking mechanism entirely.
Okay, I'll do that. Do I still have advantage?
Yes.
Okay. Please be nice to me.
2 and 1.
Oh, wait a minute.
Did I
Did
nail
you
it?
actually?
Was it 2 and a 4 and a 6?
Oh, a 2 and a 4. So close.
You got the 2.
So
It's-
that's a 7 total. This
It must be like anchored into like the wood of the covers, so you're gonna need some more heavy duty equipment than just a knife to try to get or heavier duty equipment to get this off.
just look at Ned like, do you want to give it a try?
You open this jar.
You're muted.
Yeah, I realized I was muted. Sorry. While giving that side eye still, because from just like the from there, I guess. Let me see. What's the orientation here? From their left, can Nedro just with a dagger, like just make their way on through and try and do it to when the book is himself.
Yeah, you can if you want. You can make the exact same check, dexterity with advantage.
Just dexterity.
Yes.
Not a sleight of hand. Okay. My God, I rolled a 2 and a 1. What's with us?
Oh, fucking way.
I wasn't wrong. I was just premature.
Oh! You know what? I'm gonna use a sorcery point to re-roll that.
This book just doesn't want to be read. Like
This is your door. This is amazing.
All right. one more time. I spent a sorcery point for it.
With
Okay.
feeling.
Say it with your chest.
There we go. 15. Is that
There we go.
enough?
15 is going to do it. You
Also,
are you're
he
able
is
to sort of
side-eyeing you the entire time he's doing this, by the way.
so yeah, you're able to
Fuck
get
off.
you really try to get at it with the knife and it just doesn't work. You do take 1 point of damage as it slips and just sort of like slices your fingertip just a little bit.
Me
Ned,
or Riz?
Ned.
Ow. Okay.
But you eventually sort of like get the blade wedged in there, and then you grab like the key ring and you just sort of like hammer it in until you can really get like the leverage on it to like split the whatever rivets are holding it into the cover, and just like you can hear the wood splintering, and it rips off. The cover is just like wrecked, but it is open and at your disposal.
I used a read action.
You page through it. The this appears to be a much more comprehensive set of notes. Same handwriting as on the scraps of paper. And at a glance, it goes over the same sort of things. Refers to it's the person of the speaker indicates that they are currently afflicted with vampirism and they are looking at ways to reverse it. And are conducting these experiments on themselves. These are much more detailed notes. Go into, there's a couple of little diagrams that are drawn. There are a couple of lists of ingredients that I don't have prepared, but there are potential concoctions that are being sort of like planned out, as well as failure. And then it details what's going on. And then the next one, failure, details what's going on. And then the next one, failure, and details what's going on. This is the scientific process at its finest. But there does not appear to be any success that you see just upon initial inspection.
Is there anything denoting personhood? Any identifiers? Any
Oh, like
identification?
who it is?
Yeah.
It's Van Richten.
At first, it's not like a memoir. I so and so do
Right.
take this, but there are sketches. Give me an intelligence check. Both of you guys.
French girl sketches.
Flipping to the back, there are some of those as well.
I rolled an
18.
18.
18.
Really making up for each other's weaknesses today.
Yeah, apparently.
That's
With
weird.
an
I've never
8.
seen a wizard spellbook with a fold out before.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Wait a minute, I think that's Strahd. And wait, who's that? It's very Garmealy. No, anyway, it doesn't mean you can't really make heads or tails of who this is, Ned. It's very Da Vinci in how it's like there's no skin, there's like some muscle, and then there's bone. But wrist, there's enough there that you piece it together. This is Ludmilla, one of the brides. The one who
Okay.
casts the spells, the dark-skinned one.
Okay. That answers some of my questions, but now I have more.
How old does this stuff look?
Years, at least.
Damn. Okay. If this was more recent, it could be like, ooh, we could turn her to our side, but maybe she accepted her fate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was trying to figure out if we knew because my original thought process was did we know anybody potentially from Strahd either because this could have been at any point in his time here. Do we know anyone that ever like deserted or do we know anybody a dissenter?
TM, does Risk know anybody who's deserted?
No. If
Well, because
you imagine if that ever did happen, that would have been erased with extreme prejudice.
yeah. So because that's what I was originally thinking. It was like, oh, if they're trying to undo the process, they would have left or they would have been, they wouldn't have gone back. But we fought Ludmilla, so how did we get from point A to point C?
This is a big book. You guys have just paged through the first several
Yeah, I'll definitely
pages.
be taking some time to like study this later.
All right. Excuse me.
Shall we open the doors?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just taking my notes, don't mind me.
Don't tell me what not to mind. Anyway, so I'll open this door. Oh, it's fucking the ladder. All right, well, we're not ready to go upstairs yet. There's like more on this floor. Oh,
Now on the map, it only shows bones with empty manacles. However, what you actually find as you open the door, there is a shriveled, mummified a humanoid form, manacled up, unmoving, almost like it's like it's been dried, and so it's shriveled and just emaciated and tiny and bone with like scorched flesh on top of it. Um, it's it looks like it's been incinerated as well as emaciated, but it has persisted as everything here is years and years old. You would assume the same is true of this corpse, at the very least.
no. I honestly shouldn't be surprised anymore seeing this kind of stuff here. And I'm gonna step out. Oop, I don't need to close the door. I can't move my piece without
I
doing.
got you. No, not to worry.
Also, real quick, what's outside this window?
That window, you glance out and you see the edge. What would be here? Let me. If you zoom out on the map, you see this edge of the gate and down further into the ravine.
Okay, cool. Well, Riss, unless you have anything you want to do with that corpse, and I hope you don't, get that upstairs.
All right. So you guys head upstairs. We'll cut back out to the Zone of Truth out front. Ivor, while Gawain is doing this, having this conversation and setting this ritual up, is there anything that you or your echo are doing?
We're keeping a perimeter, but Ivor and Echo are pretty much kind of checking each other out. They traded rifles, um, seeing how different, but the same that they are. Looking each other in the eye. It's a different shade of green, but still very similar. But still very much mindful of where Misty was headed and the state that Cesar was in. Kind of just talking to each other, but very much focused on the juggernaut that Gawain was talking to. They're kind of in their own sort of like zone, almost, I want to say commingling, but they don't have a telepathic bond, but they know what each other is thinking. And depending on what the zone of truth does, I'll do something else.
I can't hear you, Dalton.
Oh, I see the lips moving. I don't hear his voice.
And he's not muted on here, so
Yeah. Yeah, he just tried it again. I don't know.
yeah, that happened last week, I think, too.
Yeah, it was something with voice mod, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this rarely happens. If I had 2 nickels.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey!
I heard you say nickels, but I also never mind.
Hold up.
Never mind.
I was
think
saying,
found it.
whenever the zone of truth comes up, I actually do need a charisma save from Ivor and Echo because y'all
Wait,
are in
does
the
the Echo have to
ratings.
make saving throws?
Yeah,
Actually,
it's immune to all conditions, but that doesn't mean you can't make it make a saving throw.
Mm.
Like if you fireball, for sure, it's got to make a deck save,
Mm-hmm.
even
I
though
think
even though it goes poof.
I guess for simplicity's sake, Steven, this Ivor, these are your dice. This is Echo.
Perfect.
And you said this is charisma? What kind of check is this, Gawain?
Charisma saving throw.
He uses your stats, Ivor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
17 for Ivor, 7 for Echo.
That's so funny. Ivor doesn't have to tell the truth, but your Echo does.
That means we can ask it about. I hope you came ready with lore buckled up, bucko. Let's go.
He's actually just from the deep south here.
Just Merca. All right. So, with that. Gamaliel also fails.
Okay. Questions. First question. Very easy. What are your dietary requirements? Because you wouldn't be the first werewolf I've had to feed. Does it have to be like a certain type of body part, or can you just eat normal food at greater quantities?
We can
would normal food satiate your hunger?
Yeah.
So if you
Seems
were
genuinely
provide,
confused by the question.
so if you were to have a regular supply of food, would you then not need to attack people?
I mean, I guess.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good news. Um, I'm gonna give him a little bit of, like, he's still a little chained up. I'm just gonna give him some water, make sure that he's, hydrated so he can actually think clearly. Um, okay. If you are to be let go, we need to know that you're not a threat to the general populace. Can you give me your word, with your truest intentions, that you will not hurt another soul so long as you shall live, as long as you are fed beforehand?
Yeah. It seems reasonable.
I would never ask that you go hungry, but I would ask that you find a more civilized way to satiate your hunger. I, to a certain extent, can understand. I eat an exorbitant amount because of my condition as well. Sorry, I just read that. Ugh. Um, okay. If I if I let you down right now, will you run? Or can I simply give you some food so that you can actually eat?
If you have food, I'll stay here.
Because, by the way, I know it is one of my weird talents, but I'm actually a decent cook. So, and I go ahead and first I'll just like magnify density on myself. The ground will just like a little bit. And I'll just like one hand pick him up and like pick up the chain and take it off the hook and gently set him down. Not like if he can stand, I'll put him on his feet. If he can't stand, I'll gently put him down to his knees.
He's able to catch himself as you pull him off the hook.
Okay. As it's happening, I'll go into the bag of the puzzle box of holding, and because fucking Sunflower just disappeared, and I have no idea where he is, so I don't know what I'm going to do with all these sandwiches. So, um, so I pull out the like accordion stacked Scooby-Doo sandwich, the super tall one instead of like the foot long one, uh, and just use my like super strength to like compress it down just a little bit. Just make it, yeah, just a little bit. And I'll
Nice.
hand it to him with along with a thing of water.
Which he tears into ravenously. Yes, precisely. Just a whole bite. It's just one bite. Um, but it's kind of gross, honestly. It's like watching an animal just like devour.
Hey, it's a step in the right direction. Um, I find my werewolves are much happier when they're fed. That's all I'm saying.
It's true.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Oh, and so you are aware, I'm not immune to this magic. I'm also ask me anything, and I will tell you the truth.
What are you guys doing up here? No one comes up here.
Correct me if I'm wrong, DM, but we were looking for a shrine. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
something to do with the sun god in the West.
Yes,
Honestly,
this was the
thanks for
sun god
reminding me
thing.
because I forgot too. I was like, wait, what are we here for again?
But yes, you guys decide. You asked B team to look into it, and then said, "Screw this, we'll do it ourselves."
Mhm.
And they are presumably still looking into it.
Hmm.
But yes, you guys are also headed up to generally where that draw came from that Ivor had felt.
We are headed towards what we believe to be some shrine or point of contact with the sun god.
Who's the sun god? What do you mean?
I'm sorry, I always it's one of the saddest realities of this place, but I always forget that people here have never seen the sun. Do you know how the mists obfuscate the sky at all times?
Mm,
In normal realms beyond this nightmare void, when you look up at the sky, you see the infinite possibility of the universe, stars beyond imagining. And I cast light and hold up a sun. Billions and billions of these, as large as a million worlds each, and as vast and infinite as the universe. And he just like starts a little nebula starts appearing, and like the little dust clouds start collapsing in on each other, forming the cores of stars. Um, just showing a little cosmic light show in his hand.
as you create that light, he reaches for it and his fingers pass through it. I think I want to see that.
I want everyone to see that. I want the sun to shine on Barovia again. I want the tyranny of Strahd to end. That's what me and my friends want. That's what we're fighting for, and why we're gathering strength and allies. I'd rather have a friend than an enemy. And while I am sorry that we could not spare your friends, they were not, my friends had to defend themselves and they were not adequately able to do so non-lethally. And I apologize for that.
He sort of chuckles to himself. They got what's coming to them. Kill or be killed. That's the way of the forest. They have taken
Perhaps.
their share of life, and now theirs is taken in return. It is the natural cycle, and it was their time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
once I see that Gawain has the situation somewhat under control, can Ivor and Echo start to, on either side, start to dig a hole and give them a burial, dig a grave
Yeah, absolutely.
while this conversation is happening?
I don't
While
know
he's
why
doing,
when you said dig a hole, I thought you meant for the one that was alive. I'm like, wow, that's really dark.
Guess what? Still
Ivor's
don't
not that
believe
dark.
you. Bah!
no, the really dark thing is to make them dig the hole.
Mhm.
Well, just remember, there's only one of them there because the other one got swallowed by the.
Oh,
That's right.
that's
One of them
Oh
right.
is
yeah,
one of
the
them
other
is
goop.
yeah.
Yeah, goop. The other one's goop. Oh
I think
no.
it's just nothingness, not even goop.
Hmm.
Goop suggests some gelatinous form. I think it just
He became
Got
part of the spell energy. Yes.
Yes.
sent to the shadow realm.
Something like that.
while he's doing that, I'll look over and see that he's doing that, and I'll just magnify gravity on Ivor so he can dig a little easier.
That way I don't have to like put my foot on it to get through the roots or anything. Yeah, I got you. Thank you.
You almost just drop the the spade and it just goes into the frozen ground. Misty, what are you up to? Are you doing anything fun while everyone's sort of taking a moment down here? I know you were headed off north.
Misty is actually going to be heading further up the trail. She's going to try to keep everyone in at least in sight for the most part.
Mhm.
But she's going to go as far in advance as she possibly can, just to kind of see what's there, see if there's anything coming at them. Where possible, she and Cassie will try to stay on the cliff walls.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And you don't make it up to this, but you do see in the very near distance, as the road continues to ascend, you rise up and are able to either relay back or shout back or head back and tell them. There is a stone bridge that seems to be falling apart in places that spans a gap that or a chasm that falls all the way to the river below. As this weather continues to worsen and the snow continues to fall, the wind continues to howl. This blizzard becomes progressively more intense.
Is there
Let's
anything that
see.
or is there anybody there that I see, like guarding the bridge or anything?
The snowy pass comes to a gorge spanned by a stone bridge. At the end of the bridge is a 30-foot tall, 30-foot wide stone arch, or at each end of the bridge, I should say, is that 30-foot tall, 30-foot wide stone arch. And atop of each are two statues of armored knights on horsebacks, charging toward frozen in a charge at each other. The wind bites and howls like wolves as it passes through the gorge. There is a black cloaked rider on a charcoal colored horse that stands at the middle of the bridge.
I'm gonna get close to the bridge, but I'm gonna stay hidden, and I'm just gonna stay and watch.
Okay.
I want to stay far enough back that I can, because my plan is to, as the rest of the group approaches, kind of hold them back and let them know what's going on. So not call out to them instead.
Understood. So as you're watching, this figure doesn't move and it just holds itself in space.
Okay.
It is deathly still.
That's a
But it
21
does-
on stealth in case you're interested.
Perfect. It's still as a statue, but it does like the cloak ripples in the wind,
Mm-hmm.
in response to the environment around it.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just sit there and watch until everybody gets up there.
Understood. All right. So you are supping with the werewolf. Let's head back to the watchtower, folks. Riss and Ned, you guys found this um, ladder that goes upward. And you guys ascend to the next level. From there, you guys exit into. Let me pull this up. This is a supplement that I don't have up.
All right, this
Chat
tower's
with.
way more extensive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a total of 4 levels.
With assuming a magic circle in the middle, or was that a cauldron?
Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
It appears to be yes.
Is it actively bubbling even though no one's been here in X amount
No,
of?
no, this map isn't perfect in its verisimilitude. It's not bubbling. It's cool to the touch, um, or cold to the touch, I should say. Quackin' RPG Curse of Strahd. There we are. Pyram King. Selenka Pass. Please and thanks. Gate? Yeah, that's the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Green frame, ground floor. Magic study. This cauldron sits in the middle of the room as vapors rise. On one desk, beakers and alchemy look like they once bubbled and worked away, but now sit still, but is still and silent, but still filled with the liquids that they once were distilling.
Wait, can you say that again?
So there's the cauldron in the middle, along with very faint echoes of magic runes along the surface of this floor. And then over here, there is alchemy supplies and beakers that look like they once held lively distilling components, but aren't doing anything at the moment. However, they do still have the contents that they were of whatever was being worked on.
And the cauldron still has a contents, or no? I'm assuming.
Um, there's some bits. It looks like they were uh, a portion of it has dried and a portion of it has frozen, similar to the wine downstairs. But since it was a much larger quantity, there's a lot more of substance here, frozen. But yeah, there are other various supplies and writings at the desk off to the side. Um, and there is a stairway that leads further up yet.
Got it. We can't hear you.
Sorry. Was the sigil on the floor actually there?
Yes. Very
Okay.
faint, but it is still present.
Arcana check, please.
Okay.
For favor. Bada. 25.
25. You immediately throw your hand out and block Ned. This is a glyph of warding.
Oh boy.
Let me double check exactly which one it is. Your first pass, you immediately realize this is not the explosive rune. However, it appears that there is a spell of some kind inscribed in here. You take a moment and just sort of follow the how this was built, just to understand exactly what's going on here, and you realize this is sort of like an alarm, or it's not an alarm glyph of warding; it's ascending inscribed into this. But it effectively works like alarm, where they would be notified, but
Right.
just with more information.
Interesting.
Huh. Hey,
Ned,
Riss,
do you have dispel magic?
I do. I was going to ask if I do that, does the glyph doesn't activate then, correct?
It shouldn't, because
Um,
nothing essentially because essentially the fuck accent. The trigger would have never been tripped, so there should be no reason for it to activate. We would just literally be getting rid of the thing in its entirety.
got it. So then I will point my staff and cast a spell magic on it.
Okay. Any spell of third level or lower on the target ends, and Glyph of Warding is third level. So the runes just sort of like boom, 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 and go dark. They seem to have been inscribed into the floor or burned themselves into the floor a little bit, but there is no residual magic left.
I was really hoping it was a teleportation circle, but that's fine. Okay. Can I, I'm gonna go look at the books
Okay.
over here. See what's on this desk.
More research notes, um, less narrative, more clinical trials. Um, these seem to be earlier than um, the notes in the tome that you have, and speak of a test subject rather than speaking about testing things on myself.
Okay.
This other subject obviously also has vampirism and was not responsive to any of these treatments, really whatsoever. At the very end of you sort of shuffle to the end to see what the conclusion was. Um, Exhausted of all my options, I was left with the only recourse of shackling him and allowing him to fall into dormancy because of his hunger. He will never truly die, as he can be revived with a blood source indefinitely into the future and regain his full strength given enough time and sustenance. However, he has he has ended up proving an unwilling participant in this quest despite his initial enthusiasm, and I must turn to other avenues to obtain accurate feedback on this work.
That's right. Going back, did Lumilla identify who that person was? Like, aside from obviously they're a vampire who's dead, but not really.
Yes. She describes having a conversation with this figure named um
Paul.
Gorma.
Wait,
And
wait. The corpse?
Yeah, I assume that's what they meant.
Yeah.
So we can give that thing some blood and revive it if for some reason we're crazy enough to do it.
But
The
wait,
reason,
I was
yeah,
gonna say, but didn't the notes just say that he was unwilling in the experiments?
Yes, yes. So initially, flipping back to the very beginning, he wanted to be rid of this. He did not want to be a vampire. Um, but over the course of the trials and the failure after failure after failure, he lost hope and gave himself over to this was to be my life. And I don't want to spend the rest of my eternal days in torment and torture trying to get rid of this affliction which there is no recourse from.
is it common knowledge? Actually, I don't even know if this applies to D&D because I know that applies to other vampire lore. I don't know if it applies here. If you kill like the main top vampire, that all the others are no longer vampires anymore afterwards, or I forget if that is here as well.
No, that's not 5th edition lore.
All right, then never mind. That would have been a card to play if we wanted to convince a random vampire to join us.
Good ask though. Right,
That
Sean.
doesn't mean you can't lie to them.
Nedro's not gonna lie to give someone false hope.
Is there anything else in the room? Sorry, I'm writing things down.
I mean, we have these
Um,
potions and
yes.
lotions and whatever this is.
There is a vial of acid, a set of alchemist's supplies if you would like to take them, 2 shards of amber, an amulet of some kind, a vial of antitoxin, 4 empty glass bottles, and a magnifying glass if you'd like it.
What's the amulet all about?
It looks to be a locket of some kind. You open it up, and there is a young man and a young woman on either side. Um, Not Ludmilla, which leads you to believe that this is probably Gorma and his girlfriend, fiance, wife. Or sister, or some female figure in his life.
Hmm.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
From the state of the notes that we have found so far, is it reasonable for me to think that I could potentially complete whatever research they were doing?
It's a possibility. A cure for vampirism would be sorely needed in Barovia, and could change the game entirely, change the tide of this war in your favor. There's a lot of information here for you to sift through, but first pass is there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to.
Is this like a Vampire Manhattan project?
Okay.
Have y'all played the Pop Tropica game where you're trying to figure out what to do with the vampires and the werewolf? Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, this arcane laboratory. Do you guys need that list of items in the
Yes,
room?
please.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna take it all.
I will get ready to put shit in my bag of holding.
Yeah. Also, because I want to sell that amber. Unless someone needs it for spell components, which I don't.
I will let you know. Um, yeah, did you just see Riz standing at the desk, like kind of slack-jawed, like looking at all the papers? With that realization, I will be taking literally anything that has anything to do with the experiments with me. It'll just go in my bag.
Well, Gawain's out there trying to make friends with that giant werewolf. Who knows how that'll go? But if we wanted to add a vampire to the mix, we could always give that guy downstairs some blood. That's all. I'm mostly joking, by the way. I don't know that we should do that.
No, yeah, I was, my thought, my thought process after reading all of these notes and everything was, I don't want, he willingly decided to do this because he lost hope and he didn't want to exist, as a vampire, which led me to thinking, I was like, oh, well, I don't want to wake him up just to bring him back into the reality that he tried to get away from. Even with the prospect of us being like, hey, come join us and fight Strahd. Haha. Uh, but then I was thinking, oh, these notes are so extensive and detailed. I was wondering if I could complete them. Alchemy's not my strongest suit, but
You mean actually come with a cure for vampirism?
I know that sounds crazy. But what if I could? That would literally change everything.
Definitely
I don't
would.
even know if it's possible, but Ludmilla was making some progress, according to the other notes.
Hmm. I would just hope if you try and complete it, you don't test it out on this guy downstairs.
No, no, of course not.
Ned, can you give me a wisdom save, please?
Damn it! That's never good.
I don't
Random
suppose I'm
wisdom
within
saves.
10 feet of them.
Not quite.
I might be diagonally. You don't know that.
Nah. Nah,
Get closer to the
you
window.
elevated.
Damn it. We tried.
Ooh, natural 20.
Natural 20. Always succeeds. Carry on.
Do I know that I was trying to make a saving throw? Like, you typically do, don't you? Or don't you? I actually don't know.
Because if you detect thoughts, I don't think they know if you try to probe deeper.
No,
Detect
yeah, that's
thoughts. It
true.
says that they do either way.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Ignore me.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Well, that's ominous. It's probably the dead guy downstairs. I mean, he's like dead, but not really, so maybe he's trying to make contact. Or kill me, who knows? Could be both.
Oh, you have a pang of uneasiness. The spell clearly says that. But that sense of unease is like nebulous and there's no further
I'm also in a vampire tower, so I don't think that's going to register with me.
also true.
Huh.
Wait, so Ned was the only one hit with this?
Yeah.
I have so many questions. All right, after grabbing everything, do these stairs over here exist? Is there another floor?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It goes up to a trapdoor in the roof.
I look at Ned. We continue on?
Made it this far.
Up we go!
Up you guys go. And you guys emerge on the roof of this tower.
Did you put the spectator in there so we can see?
Oh yes, let me put that up there.
There's a shit ton of skeletons all over the place.
Yeah, I was just noticing
Yeah.
that.
10-foot tall, gold-plated statues stand atop the battlements facing outward. Each one depicts a female human knight holding a lance, and the cold wind that blows stirs the snow into little like snow devils, that like tiny little tornadoes, not actual devils, that reveal humans clad in, or excuse me, human skeletons clad in rusty mail.
These are pretty much the same ones that we saw downstairs and everything, right? Or
Very
outside the
similar.
bridge.
Tattered bits of cloth, broken longbows and arrows, rusted blades and ruined sheaths, rusty chainmail. Things of that nature.
Cool. Anything else of interest here besides all the skeletons and the statues?
Not up at the roof.
Okay. And as far as what we can see from any given direction, including the direction we're heading to, which is the Temple of Weast.
Let me see.
Or in any chance we can see the bridge that Misty is by.
Yes. Yes, you can see that off in the distance to the north. And you see Misty there, just sort of like holding position.
Oh, what's she doing there? And then I'll look at the bridge. Do I see?
Both of you guys
Oh,
give me perception checks.
Oh, goody. We're so good at this. I should be sarcastic more often.
yeah, I got a 9. So I
Got
hope
a
that your
dirty
sarcasm helps.
20.
Nice.
The snow makes it difficult to see, but Riss, you do make out this shadow figure standing on the bridge, cloak whipping in the wind, this to the right and then to the left, and then just switches abruptly to ripple across the other side. But it makes no moves from the bridge, almost as though Misty and this figure are in a standoff. If each one knows about the other.
And DM private message to you.
Yes.
With secrets.
Secret, Esther, secret.
Can I see Fiona from the roof? Can I see that Misty is there?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You do see them. You do. You see. You both see Misty. Riss. You see that figure on the bridge as well.
I think she's talking to someone.
Wait, are they
Don't.
close enough to be talking?
No.
They're.
Unless they're shouting.
Oh well, there's someone. There's someone there. Let me amend my statement. There's someone in a standoff with Fiona, and I don't like it.
Yeah, we typically haven't had much luck with Cloaked horse riders.
Let's head back down. I don't think we'll find anything more up here.
Mm-hmm.
Neum.
Sounds like a plan. So
Oh, I
yeah,
can't get myself out of the box.
unless I need to make more wisdom saving throws, we should be exiting.
Gotcha. That's fine.
But don't make me
drag
make
your
more wisdom saving throws.
I'll drag your excuse me, your tokens down. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gawain, give me a wisdom save.
Love to. $27.
A wave of uneasiness passes over you. And just as quickly as it arrives, it's gone.
Do I clock that? Like, okay, so I'm assuming like I completely clock all of that.
You feel uneasy for a moment. That's as
I'm
much
gonna
insight into that wisdom save and all of that as your character has.
I'm gonna go ahead and with that uneasiness, I'm gonna pop Divine Sense, please.
Divine Sense.
Just gonna attack the vampire we just saw.
Gamaliel feels loosely desecrated.
What does
What is
that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's not a. Give me a.
It was just hand stuff.
Yeah, just hand stuff.
Would this be religion or history or
No, this would be.
In real life, it'd be religion, unfortunately, but that's
yeah.
Catholic churches is fucked up, but you know.
You wouldn't want like an intimidation or an athletics check.
No, not not just flexes.
I can't Armstrong it.
And sorry, this is from the roided out werewolf.
Yes,
What's his name again?
Gamaliel.
Can you spell that for me?
Yeah, please.
Gamaliel.
Yes. Sorry, I always suck at fantasy spelling.
It's a biblical name, so you nailed it. Nicely done. What would this be? This would be a vibe check. Give me an insight. Gawain.
That is a nat 20 or 22.
It is the same. You never understood it until now, but you realize that Yana also had this air of faint desecration.
Like lycanthropy itself desecrates the body.
Unclear. But there is a vibe that your divine sense gives you from Gamaliel that is the same, not similar, but the same that you got from Yana whenever you would use your divine sense. What that is up to interpretation, but there is something that is the same.
Would I have gotten it around other werewolves? Because I would have divine sensed while we were around werewolf. I think I
You
did divine
had
sense while we
divine sense
did.
around. No, this is Yana specifically.
So it could be a other half thing.
It
The
could be,
undead
yeah.
part.
Whatever something about Yana and this guy is. There's like a thread that you've picked up on.
That is getting highlighted in my notes.
All right. So as the group is headed down the tower to rejoin, that feels like a great moment to go ahead and take a quick bio break. Let's do 15 minutes, so we'll rejoin here about half past.
Alrighty.
Awesome. So thanks for sticking with us, guys. As we dive a little bit further into this, we will see you guys on the flip side.
Everybody,
More
grab your earth
shenanigans.
juice.
Dang right. Welcome back. While you weren't looking, we did nothing. And we're picking up exactly where we left off. With the party reconvening after exploring the tower. And doing a little bit of scout recon at the upcoming bridge. As you guys reconvene, Ivor, I need a wisdom save.
I'm just gonna keep trying until you get one of us.
You get a +5 because you're close to me.
Gonna need it.
I think it's
Nat
just like
20.
going.
Nat 20.
Ned, you called it.
Hey,
Yay!
you ain't getting anyone, Steven.
This is so upsetting.
Don't say that. Don't say that. As I'm next. Like,
I don't know. What does this look like? What forces are acting upon Ivor in this moment?
It's when you get that hit of anxiety and you don't know what it's from, that's all it is. You're like, oh, and then it passes.
Wouldn't it be funny if there was supposed to say, I don't know what that's like at all. I'm mentally healthy.
Yeah, and I don't have the tech magic up anymore, so it's just like they're burying this body. They return back to near Gawain, setting up, continuing the conversation between himself and Echo. And this pain, it's just gut wrenching. And it's just like, and it's he gets one of those headaches again, and it just the ringing in his ears, and he focuses again, and everything becomes a lot more clear, but he has a lot more questions. And Ivor settles back down, takes a deep breath, and stands back up.
You know, the other problem is we're all getting this sense of unease, but we're all doing objectively creepy things to begin with. So, it's not like there's any reason we wouldn't feel that.
Yeah. DM, how much longer do I have on my Zone of Truth spell?
That's only, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
That would have faded.
I just had a couple more questions I had to ask him.
Yeah, you can
That's
throw
all.
a couple more questions in it while everything's going on.
Okay, cool.
I forgot that you wanted to do more. Go for it.
Yeah, it's all good. Are you willing to renounce your former organization if it means that you are actually taken care of? You would be given potentially, there would be some time that you would have to earn everyone's trust, but we could be allies. We could be friends.
Right, but what about the rest of my family? I can't just leave them.
How many members of your family are there?
They're all my family.
Do they hunt potentially people because they are just malnourished?
Anything that is edible is eaten. It's the way of the forest. There's no reason that something's off the table unless it's poisonous or if it's too dangerous. Whether something thinks doesn't affect how it nourishes.
That is fair. I understand one can't be picky, but if we can, I know you don't want to give me exact information, but could you give me a general idea of how many members of your family there are?
50, 70.
Gawain's thinking that's a lot of fucking cooking. Oh, I mean, he could do it. He could definitely do it, but that'd be like an everyday job for a while. How much would it cost to hire a cook? That's just a random question, sorry. But it has everything to do with what we're doing.
To go to a werewolf den? A lot. Oh, just to hire. I guess to just have the food that you could transport.
Mhm. Hmm. Okay. Would you now be comfortable sharing the name of your organization, or the name of your family, clan, whatever you refer to it as? I wish to show the proper reverence to your family, but I don't know what name to give it.
I am from the Toranescu side.
Oranescu?
Yeah, Toranescu. The other half of the family is the Stoyanovich. Is the Stoyanoviches. I'll get that in
Is
chat
it
here for you.
Are they the Stojanoviches? Are they like a rival family, or do you work together? I just want to
No,
understand the dynamic.
it's we're all the same family, married together.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, do you have just a philosophical difference with the Keepers of the Fang then?
The Keepers of the Fang disrespect their nature. They think it is something base to be shunned and avoided rather than taking pride in who they are I didn't ask for this. I was born like this. There is no salvation to be found. This is all that I am. This is who I am. And I'm
Would you wish
proud of this.
I understand one can be proud of one's nature, but also I would be derelict in my duty if I did not ask. Would you want to be free of the curse of lycanthropy, or do you accept it entirely as a part of yourself?
Give me a religion check. Or
Ooh.
or I would also, let me see what else I would accept.
Intimidation.
Religion or
Persuasion.
I would also accept history.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Those born werewolves cannot be cured. Which,
Okay, so this is less of a curse and more of a genetic thing, which is beyond what I think our group is capable of. Hmm. Um, would you be willing to set up a meeting with the rest of the Toranescu and Stojanoviches? There are some questions I'd like to ask them because I feel they could be very powerful allies, to be honest. And we need every friend we can get.
I am no ambassador, but I will I will pass the message along and see what the elders say.
Um, okay. I think that's. I do have one last question before this effect fades. This is going to sound odd, but do you know why you would register as desecrated to one of my abilities?
What does that mean?
Um, how do you define desecrated? God. Um, something that is sacred. It is polluted or profaned or violated. For instance, a hallowed place such as a church would be uh, essentially the opposite of desecration. It would be an unholy presence, but I don't understand why.
I
Is
don't know.
is your lineage only that of Lycan parents?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Dornescu on both sides.
Hmm. Okay. Um, and I'll let the spell fade.
As he's just sort of like, he's still bound for safety and just sort of like stuffing his face and answering questions, is going back to filling his face and then answering questions as Riss and Ned exit the building to reconvene with the rest of the group.
Um, as we're exiting, it's like, so two things, Gawain and Ivor. Um, there's some kind of cloaked figure in the bridge up north, and Misty seems to be having a stare down with it. And there's a dehydrated vampire in there.
Uh,
Can
The first one's more important. The second one's just a detail.
Okay. What's a D? Never mind. Okay. Um, so many
I
questions, so little time.
I Ivor turns north towards Misty, and Echo turns toward the ruins of the tower, and they just like, "Er?"
um, I'm going to just kind of turn a little bit and look towards Nedro and Riss as they exit the building. Um, I did some talking with our new friend here, uh, Gamaliel. Um, it seems that there is a large organization of werewolves that are not sided with the Keepers of the Fang. And I think I've talked with him, and if we can potentially feed these people, they will no longer have to feed on people. So, I would like to potentially do that, but also I have asked him if he will, under Zone of Truth, many questions, but lastly, if he would set up a rendezvous with the two families with us, because I feel like they might be very powerful allies in our fight against Strahd.
Definitely sounds like a good idea. But just like the dehydrated vampire, we should probably save that for later and figure out if Misty's okay.
Well, that's my point. We're going to move quicker if we don't have to drag someone with us. Are we comfortable letting him go? I am comfortable with it.
As
I
long as
haven't
he
talked to
doesn't
him.
attack us, I don't care.
Um, I will turn to Gamaliel and take out the keys and undo his manacles, and I will um yeah, I will go ahead and, just so he's not immediately fucked up by like a bunny that gets a lucky hit, I'll put 5 points of lay on hands into him. Um so
Okay.
he's up to 6. But I will do that and take a small satchel out of the uh puzzle box of holding, my old backpack actually. I'll pull out. And I'll fill it with a bunch of, like, pretty much like half of my rations, which is a lot. So that this dude has enough to feed his family for a while.
Hmm.
Not the whole family, mind you, but at least its immediate family will be taken care of. And this will be at least a nice um, little bow on the presentation for potentially getting us a meeting. Because if I'm offering to feed them and they taste the quality of the food, that it might therefore convince them.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I'm giving him most of the good stuff, the stuff that's like gonna go bad faster because it's got like more fresh ingredients in it. Um, but yeah, there's a couple of pastries in there, and then it's uh like Tupperware quarts of like stew and other stuff. But um,
Hmm.
my name is I never gave you my name, Gamaliel. Uh, my name is Sir Gawain Alis.
Well met.
Please pass our message on. to the Toranescu and the Stoyanoviches.
I will.
And please, don't make me regret letting you go. Let this be a time where you can turn your intentions around, at least. I'm not asking you to fight your nature. Just curb it a little bit. There'll be plenty of time to be savage. Trust me.
He does not respond until you say that, at which point he cracks a smirk, and turns, and with the pack on or over one shoulder, he takes a few steps away and then glances back just to see what you guys like, see how things have changed, if they've changed, like in the immediate turning of his back, and he will assume his hybrid form and then take off through the gate of Selenka, this Selenka gate, back the way you guys came.
Okay.
Damn it. I wanted to do something before he leapt off into the trees.
No, you
Risk,
can't
give
shoot
me a
him.
wisdom save.
Oh boy, here we go.
Evens or odds?
We were just gonna leave. You could have just
Odds.
let us leave.
You get a +5 because you're within 10 feet of me.
You were not within 10 feet. That's what the evens or
Oh.
odds was for. Just
Aw.
milling around, you happen to not be close enough.
7.
7.
Your
Thank
brain
you.
explodes.
1, 2. It's another 2.
Another 2. Get him out now.
Like,
Beholder.
my dice are like, oh, you're rolling intelligence? Here's a 19. Here's a 15. Anything else? Fuck you.
Your dice optimize your character.
Min max the dice.
Apparently so.
It's like, you are
All
good
right.
at one thing and one thing only, apparently.
So you guys are headed to meet up with Misty?
Wait, no.
Wait, what happened?
Wait, what happened?
What do you mean what happened?
I failed, right?
Yeah? And?
As we mount, okay, I have a question.
Fuck.
DM.
Fuck.
As we mount up, and we get into formation, because because of my aura, anyone who's within 10 feet of me is immune to being charmed. So if
No, it's not that.
Riss is okay, if it is that, then it breaks.
I am going
Understood.
to message you in our private chat.
Okay. But good looking out, thank you, Gawain.
Oh, good. Ugh. How are the mounts looking before we head off? I know some of them got a little fucked up.
Matara got a little fucked up.
What's he at? Like half or higher?
Exactly half.
Exactly higher.
Okay. One sec. Potions. Potions of healing. Okay. Are any of the other mounts hurt at all? Or anyone else besides potentially, well, Cesar? Oh, I'm assuming we gathered Cesar up and put him in the
Yeah, we did
bag
that
of
last
holding.
session. We did
Okay,
that last
cool.
session, yeah.
Cool. Just making sure. Don't want to leave your baby boy behind.
Yeah, both Ivor and Echo gathered him up and we put him into the strap hold box of holding.
After we
Strap
took him
on.
apart.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to not give him a pill, but I'm gonna go over to Matar and put a healing potion. I'm gonna try to put a healing potion down a zebra's mouth. I don't know how the fuck that works, but I'm trying it. That's a 3, and that's a 4. So that's 7 plus, what is it, 2? 9. He gains 9 hit points.
Better than nothing.
Um, I really don't want to resummon him. Fuck it, I'm gonna burn another potion. I can't tell.
He still has both pills.
Yeah, but potions are cheaper than pills because pills are potions plus stuff.
I also have potions. You don't have to waste yours. I can give him
I
some
have
of
a,
mine.
I have a bunch. It's okay.
All right.
Not a bunch, but I've got a couple
All right.
after we handed them all out. But um, okay, so that'll be 3. No, that's thing. 3, 6, 8 more points. How's he looking? That's 9 points, 8 points, so
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Pretty good or full?
Not full. Pretty good.
All right. I'm gonna give him.
Damn near full. But don't worry about it.
I'm gonna still pump a couple hit lay on hands into him just to make sure all of his wounds are nice and healed because we're going into a fucking blizzard.
Okay, three more points.
Cool. 3 points. Oh wait, no. Not adding, subtracting. There we go. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I think Orion's all good. Oh, Orion took 3 points of damage. I'm gonna put 3 points into Orion as well. Actually, that's fine. So I'm guessing we are, as I'm like rapidly putting potions down Matar and doing some petting his mane to heal him. Um, I'm gonna get in the middle of the formation so that we can start moving up towards Misty.
Before we do that, Ivor is gonna patch himself up.
Okay. Um.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead with second wind if that's okay with you, GM.
Of course. This, as you guys have spent this time, speaking with with Gamaliel and exploring the tower, this blizzard has begun to fully set in. The rules for Blizzard are in the chat. Just as a reminder to everyone, hearing is limited to 100 feet and disadvantage on ranged weapon attack rolls.
Wascally Wappets.
What was that about?
I don't know what happened. It started and then I was like, might as well go with it. Yes. So you can only hear out to 100 feet, and ranged weapon attacks have disadvantage. You also have disadvantage on perception checks that rely on hearing. Open flames are extinguished, fog is dispersed, tracks are erased, and non-magical flight is nearly impossible. Visibility is reduced to 30 feet. Creatures without goggles or other eye protection have disadvantage on perception checks relying on sight. And any creature concentrating on a spell in a blizzard must succeed on a DC 10 con save at the end of your turn or lose concentration every turn.
Awesome.
Got it.
You.
Gotta love it.
You guys are also not acclimated for this, so the longer you spend up here, you are also going to be under the effects of extreme cold, which is a con save at the end of each hour of travel versus a level of exhaustion. Does anyone have resistance to cold damage?
No.
Ivor has resistance, so you will automatically succeed because you still have that ring. That's right, your ring. So Ivor will automatically succeed on these extreme cold saving throws, so you do not need to make them.
But you said it's
but
after
everyone
an
else.
hour, correct?
Correct. Yes, every hour of travel.
This an hour. All right.
What if we just stayed in the tower and waited the blizzard out?
We gotta go get
Oh,
Misty still.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult marching forward and trying to shout out because of the howling winds.
As we're writing, I'm gonna re-up the casting of light and create the little nebula on my axe, just so I can have a little torch for everyone to like rally on in formation. Because I don't know how bad the blizzard's gonna get.
Actually, we should put a light on every single person.
Can I have more than one instance up?
I think
I
it's
can-
concentration.
It's not
It's not
concentration.
concentration.
It's not
I'll also
concentration.
help. I'll cast light on a couple things.
It's on one thing. The spell ends if you cast it again or dismiss it.
Damn. Okay,
It's
well, I can have a
dancing
second
lights
light
that
up.
gives you multiple orbs.
I can have a light up then.
Concentration.lte.
Sorry, my player knowledge or like of real life blizzards is like
Mhm.
Fun fact for everyone out there, if you're ever caught in an avalanche and you don't know which way's up, spit. The spit will melt its way toward the ground and you can go the opposite way. You know that way is down. Real survival hack. Might save your life if you're ever in an avalanche.
And if you're in 5e, just use a stone of gravity.
Do we have a rope?
Yes, I was just looking at that.
We definitely need to tie each other together like now.
Yes. Everyone should have harnesses built into. Oh, you don't have armor anymore. So you should have harnesses that we bought before. I know mine is built into my armor, like the climbing stuff, because it's all attached to me so thoroughly. I think Ivor's
Was
is
that
built
the-
into his breastplate.
Yes.
Was that the
And
old
we-
armor? Or the armor you got from Strahd?
Well, he built it in when he built in the cast on, cast off.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Yeah, mine would not have been built into my armor because my armor was like part of magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
But no, we should definitely
Yeah.
go get Misty. We should definitely stay together.
Yep. All right. So get Misty and then leave back here. Let's go.
Let's see. Rope, where are you?
All right, so who is headed up to get Misty then?
I think we all are.
All of us.
Yeah, we're all
all
going.
together. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So you guys head up a little bit further on the along the path. I'll just bring you over here to the map just so you guys see what's going on. Can I shrink that, please? So we'll just bring you guys. Yeah, you guys are somewhere in here from the words. Perfect. This once again, this bridge. Can I please find 7? The snowy pass comes to a gorge spanned by a stone bridge. At the end of the bridge is a 30-foot tall, 30-foot wide stone arch on either end, and at the top of each are 2 statues of armored knights with horseback with lances charging at one another. The wind bites and howls like wolves passing through the gorge. And there are low walls that enclose the stone bridge that have fallen away in a couple of places. But it appears relatively intact. A black cloaked rider on a charcoal-colored horse guards the middle of the bridge and is just standing there. At this point, menacingly. With this amount of wind, the cloak is just sideways as he sits there still on the horse. And there is no perceivable detail. But yes, you guys approach, and Misty is ducked behind some of these trees here. As the ground ascends, you sort of gravitate over there, notice this figure, and then immediately just sort of pull over. I need everyone to give me a stealth check. Other than Misty, everyone else to give me a stealth check.
Oh, that's not going to end well.
And you can use your mounts.
Yes, you can use your mounts if you would like.
I think I'm better than my mount, but I might roll. Can I roll for my mount if my mount gets better? Can I use that?
No, you're not rolling twice. You can use whichever bonus you would like.
That's fine.
So you have to call it out.
Yeah, you have to know which one you're rolling.
I got an 11.
I got a 12.
21.
I'll use mine. Let's see. Huh.
So as I see them starting to approach, I'm gonna, without saying anything, I'm just gonna motion my hands to have them get down off their mounts and approach quietly.
Gawain stays on his mount because that's the only way he can approach quietly.
1 second, GM. I'm trying to read. Can I use a lucky point for this?
Yeah, if you'd like to.
Yeah. I rolled a 5. Ah! That's a
4.
20. Nat 20?
Much better.
There it goes.
Make sure you mark it off.
I marked it.
Excellent. Yeah, natural 20. Yeah, so 20 plus 20 plus, and then what? 11 and 12 for Ned and
I need
Riz.
to drag myself onto the map.
Oh, are we supposed to be on the map?
You don't have to be. I have the spectator out there. It's just so you guys can get an idea of like visually and spatially where you are.
Yeah, and chat can see this too.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot where Ivor is. Oh.
I also just want to say that I love that when I look at the map on my monitor, my video is mirrored in just the right way that it looks like I'm looking at the map on stream. Mm-hmm. It makes me happy. It doesn't look out of place. Anyway,
GM help.
Oh, you need your token. I got you covered. Where are you at, Ivor? Okay. Maybe that's the wrong one.
Oh, I was thinking about it, and the only thing that makes sense for Gawain to get a higher stealth because of Orion is the fact that he just completely flexes as hard as he can so that all of his armor gets a little more filled out and doesn't make any sounds. So he's just sitting there holding like a permanent little flex as Orion's just creeping forward.
perfect bodybuilder pose. All right, so yeah, you guys slink up, and you are able to convene with Misty and Cassie.
Oh, is Echo still here?
He can be.
And you said it's okay if he's on Matar with Ivor?
Yes, that I'm not worried about. He is energy insubstantial.
Okay.
So I've been sitting here for a while. A guy on the bridge hasn't moved at all. I mean, his cape blows in the wind, but that's about it. But other than that, he's dead still.
Yeah, we saw that from the top of the tower.
I mean, Nedro's cape does that too, but
I activate my cape of billow. What happens if I guess it double billows?
it goes the opposite
Let's-
way of the wind.
Yes.
You get
Imagine
lift.
Ned's hair blowing in one direction and his cape is blowing in the other. Oh. Let's. We wanted to potentially wait out the blizzard back at the tower.
Well, I know that it's kind of in view of the guy on the bridge, but it looks like there might be possibly some rooms in those little towers here on this side.
A possibility.
Wait, where?
I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Right there.
Well, my thought on that is, we know the tower back there is safe and empty, except for the dehydrated vampire we'll talk about later. But we have no idea what's going on with these.
Of course, it's also blowing like a banshee out here.
It's probably best to go back to the tower, rest, wait it out, and come back later, see if the guy's still there for some reason.
Well, it's up to y'all. I'm good either way.
Thoughts, everybody?
Sounds like a fair plan to me.
Fine with whatever, as long as it includes shelter.
Yeah.
And as we turn back, we attempt to say, "Fuck you, Steven. We're not dealing with your blizzard."
As soon as you guys were like, we probably should take cover, I was like, of course you should take cover. That's the
Why
logical
would we
thing to
stay
do.
here?
I don't trouble myself with coming up with solutions. I just throw problems at you, and sometimes they have easy solutions.
So, as I'm getting ready to mount back up onto Cassie, my foot kind of catches on a little root or something under this big bush. And as I try to pull my foot up, something kind of pops out of the snow by it.
Dead body.
Mm-hmm. It's skin colored, at least. At first pass.
As I look down at it, I notice that it looks like a piece of paper. I'll reach down and pick it up. Take a look at it. Not in a language that I read, supposedly. But I look it over, and then I hand it over to Gawain.
I'll
It's
take
probably
it.
in Celestial.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yes. So, yeah, it looks just like a scrap of parchment torn out of a notebook at some point. It's slightly yellowed. It's not super old, but it is. It's not brand new either.
Okay. Is it in Celestial?
Remind me, Sarah, what is that? What language is it written in?
Let me check real quick. I'm trying to remember. What language was it in? Come on, open up. It is written in Dwarvish.
Oh, yes. Okay. Cool. Yes, written in Dwarvish.
Gawain goes, ah, yes. I can't read this. And he's holding it directly upside down. He has no fucking clue.
Riz tries to, like, peek over her shoulder. I also can't read it. Can I recognize that it's Dwarvish, though?
Give me an intelligence check.
What do they know what Dwarvish is?
I'm gonna
Librarian.
say yes. Okay, well, that's a 9.
9. Not at first blush. It's something.
Okay.
I'll take a look.
I was just gonna pass it off to Ned, the dwarf.
Yeah. All right, I'll take it, and I'll attempt to read it.
Do you actually know Dwarvish?
I hope so. He's a fucking dwarf.
Yeah, he's a dwarf.
Yeah. In this game, you speak the language merely because you're that race.
Pretty much.
Although that's no longer the case,
Yay!
True.
which I appreciate because that makes sense. But for now, yes, I do speak Dwarvish.
I sent you a message with what the
No, you didn't.
note reads. Nope, I said into the wrong one. That's my Ned chat. This is our Ned chat. There we go. The behind the scenes, not the PP.
Let's say, well, that's interesting.
What? What is it?
A note from someone named signed N, as in no, but it reads Alejandro Miguel question my every step. I must learn the secrets of this land before Strahd calls me back to his castle. Ludmilla has been very thirsty, and I'm afraid the bite marks on my neck will never fade.
Okay, wait. I'm a little confused here. Weren't your friends named Alejandro and Miguel?
That they were. Well, prior to their betrayal, sure.
Does anybody else find it a little bit peculiar?
Do we recognize the handwriting at all?
Give me a.
I mean, I already know what this is as a person, not as Ned.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Give me an intelligence check. Anyone who wants to try to identify handwriting. Ned, have you written a lot of things that these guys would have been privy to?
Yes. Well, not a lot, but the one thing that they probably would have seen is when I tried to make those posters for
That's right.
the chess tournament.
made the poster. So yes,
I don't think
just
I
flat
can roll
then.
for this.
You were not there. That is correct.
Yeah.
Or you can roll with disadvantage.
Oh, cool.
So really, just have 2 people rolling flat.
I'll give it a shot. Maybe I was paying attention.
Yep. Everybody can roll for it. Riss is at disadvantage.
I was not paying attention.
Not paying attention.
15.
15.
15. Ivor?
1 second.
By the way, that's a 0 for Gawain.
Oh, you were not paying attention.
Hell no.
Oh boy.
I was probably coming up with a recipe at the time.
The snow got in your eyes. It's fine.
The snow definitely bothered him anyway.
I just let it go. I'm sorry.
Nice one. But I got a 16 on the die.
So I recognize my own handwriting.
You do recognize your own handwriting, as does everybody but Dalton. Excuse me, as everyone but Gawain.
How old does this paper look?
A while. Weeks to months.
So that's a dirty 20 from Ivor.
Yeah, you recognize it as Ned's handwriting as well.
With Ned, did Ned not recognize his own handwriting like right off the bat?
No, he did. Yeah, I
Okay.
just was rolling it all together, and you guys roll for it first. But yeah, Ned, it's very clearly your handwriting. And everybody else except Gawain recognizes it as Ned's as well.
And I'll say, well, that's interesting. And how about we head back to the tower and we can further think through this? No reason to stay in the cold.
Is there something back at the tower that you want?
Mostly
Shelter.
warmth. Shelter, warmth, not being in the middle of a blizzard. No particular reason to be here.
What's on the other
And
side of the
it'll have-
bridge?
The tower will also have room for the mounts, so we don't, lose them to frostbite.
Correct. Point being, there's absolutely nothing here that is better than being at the tower right now, where we can do the exact same thing in a safer environment.
You say that like you've been here before. What's over there? What's across that bridge?
I have no idea, but there is a cloaked man there, as well as an active blizzard. Those happen to be, one of them is definitely dangerous, the other one is potentially dangerous. Use some logic here.
Oh, that's what I'm doing exactly. Putting 2 and 2 together.
Are you now?
Well, it's a note in your handwriting. If you haven't been here before, how did you get up here?
I don't know. How is it that you randomly stumbled upon it personally?
Cut me.
Why
All I did
don't
was pull my
we-
foot up off the snow.
Why don't we go back to the tower where we can continue this conversation? We don't need to go exploring in a blizzard, especially with a potential hostile on a bridge over a river. We've explored the tower, we know it's safe.
Except for the dehydrated vampire, but yes.
The dehydrated vampire is gonna stay dehydrated, it'll be fine.
I would also like to put forth that our track record with river crossings has been less than spectacular.
This is
The
also
perfect
doing-
opportunity for a montage, by the way.
So doing so under the conditions of a blizzard is probably not advisable.
especially since it looked like there might be pieces missing from it.
Yeah, we're not. We definitely are not crossing in the blizzard. Let's, like, Chris kind of like reaches out and like tries to like grab Misty and like starts like going back towards the tower. Like, let's go. We're moving now. The wizard is cold and wants to get inside.
Which easy enough for you guys to backtrack to the through the blizzard to the tower, and sort of close all the windows, barricade the door well enough with some of the things inside this first floor, and sort of warm it up almost like the way that you're able to warm an igloo up to, like, what, 40 or 50 degrees with just body heat. Very similar situation going on here. If you guys wanted to start a fire, you may do that as well. Go ahead.
As we're doing that and as we arrive, what I'm going to say next only applies to this version of Nedro, because it technically won't apply to the one that will happen eventually, because I still have the proficiency. You know, growing up, my sister and I, well, we were born magical, which is a whole thing about, learning how to control our magic. But we also kind of went to, I guess, religious classes, to train in being clerics. My sister loved it, kind of took to it like a fish to water. I couldn't really stand it. But a nice thing is you could easily get out of those classes if you had a signed up from your parents. Obviously my parents weren't gonna just let me go because they wanted me there. So I pretty much learned how to, copy my father and mother's handwriting when needed, and forge letters giving excuses for why I didn't need to be in school any particular day whenever I just didn't feel like going. My sister found out real quick though, because obviously I wasn't there, but I pretty much told her that if she doesn't say anything, I can give her notes to get out of any particular classes she wants. Dance classes, meetings with anyone in particular. Either way, it's a very useful skill. And if you're very good at with forgery and you have the proper kit, you can pretty much make your writing indistinguishable from the real deal. And that's all I have to say.
So you enjoy forging things, do you?
Oh, Misty. You're not important enough for me to give a response to that. In any case, we could wait it out here, everyone else, and when the blizzard's done, we can figure out if that thing is still on the bridge.
Sounds good to me. Gawain's nose is bleeding heavily, by the way. He hasn't noticed. It's just, you just see drips of it on his tabard.
Ivor will point it out.
Word.
I'll handle the tissue.
Oh, thank you. Oh, how did that?
Prestidigitation.
You get 11 points of healing back from that nosebleed.
Oh shit! No, god damn it! Why am I doing everything backwards today?
I make sure we start a fire inside the tower.
Okay. Shelter! Step 2, arson!
There we go. You guys huddle in, hunker down to wait this blizzard out.
As they're saying that, as we're doing that, I also mention. Oh, and as for the vampire I keep referencing, apparently this tower used to belong to Ludmilla. She was experimenting on some vampire in order to cure his vampirism. He apparently is upstairs in a semi-dead state, and according to her notes, could be revived and with just a small amount of blood. Wait, was it specified small?
No, it was not.
Sorry.
specified.
It was just blood.
He could be revived with some blood, which I don't think we should do, unless for some reason we can get an ally out of it. But I don't think there's any particular reason that would happen.
Also, it should be noted that the vampire willingly went into this catatonic state for a lot of reasons that we can get into later, but I personally don't. I would ask that we don't wake him up.
The catatonic state wasn't voluntary, right?
The only thing from the research notes that you got, he was originally a willing participant, and then he wanted to stop.
Yeah.
And
I assumed that she
locked
did that
him.
to him out of revenge or something. But maybe we just had two different readings.
Oh,
of the
I
same
thought
thing.
I was gonna say I thought that it was he lost hope in the situation and that he would never be cured.
No, he lost hope, which meant he was now no longer a reliable witness. So
Okay.
she couldn't just let him roam because of the loose end that he posed. So she locked him in, and he starved into this state and shriveled into this.
Never mind. I retract what I said. I misunderstood.
So I don't know if that's a great idea to do right now.
Oh, I don't think we should at all. I'm just mentioning it. It's something.
I think this might be a thing that we could, if with everyone's consent, I would like to put it in the puzzle box and take it to the abbot so that hopefully he can be can vampirism be cleansed that we know of, like with high level magic or
Mm-mm. It's like zombification. It's a one-way street. To everyone's knowledge, the puzzle box also cannot accept a corpse intact. It's just not big enough to allow it in through the opening. That's why Cesar needed to be broken down.
Okay.
Because it's not a
Actually-
regular bag of holding, it's a box. The opening is stuck. We can't like, oh, it's a bag of holding magic item. We make it bigger so that it fits in like a regular bag of holding does.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, as we're having this discussion, I will start getting Caesar out of the puzzle box of holding so that Ivor can start repairing his baby boy.
Yes, and Ivor and Echo will start pulling the pieces out and start construction.
I thought about you.
I
never thought about you having your own tech buddy.
I keep thinking about the Bad Batch.
Twice as fast.
On the topic of cleansing vampires, I have all of. Well, okay. Well, the first thing is Ludmilla was the one doing all of this experimentation. These notes are years old at least. And vampires are kind of immortal, so you know this could really mean a lot of things. I don't know how long Ludmilla has been around, or has been a vampire, or has been with Strahd. So I don't have a timetable for any of this. I don't know why she stopped and is now with Strahd. But there is a chance, a large chance, it is not. I can't promise anything, but I can take. I'm planning on taking a look at the notes that Ludmilla left behind, and I'm going to see if I can finish what she started.
I mean, I just figured Ludmilla stopped for the same reason the guy upstairs stopped. volunteering. And just gave up after seeing things weren't working out.
Maybe we don't know. I don't want to rule anything out, especially now that she is with Strahd. But I do think that having something like this would be extremely useful in the fight against him, if I can make it work. I can't make any promises. It might not even be truly possible. But, and Riss will pull out the book with the stars on it. They were working towards the end. The notes in this one, even though they were failing, she was making progress. And I think maybe if I can piggyback off of her progress, I could finish it.
That would certainly help.
I mean, I don't really sleep anyways, so what's a little time researching more stuff? This will keep my mind activated. This will keep my mind this will keep my mind occupied at least for a while. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That is how experimentation goes. I understand that process and I'm willing to admit defeat if it doesn't work. But I think
Also, don't you need a vampire to actually test these things out?
we will cross that bridge later. I have a bunch of research I need to do first anyways.
Hmm. The for metaphorical bridge or the physical bridge ahead of us?
I was specifically referring to the metaphorical bridge, but yes, both. Those are all future us problems.
It's
Right now,
okay.
we are waiting out the blizzard.
I understand that risk. We have to keep some jokes to ourselves and these dire straits. Also, and Ivor will turn to Misty if she's in Eye's view.
Yeah, small enough room.
Might I have a word with you while I'm working on this?
Look, I already said I'm sorry. I'm not sure what else I can say.
Hmm. Your sorry is not what I wanted to talk about. Fact of the matter is, there are usually three states: fight and flight. No one else ever really talks about freeze. You didn't freeze. You took action. One of the tentacles just so happened to hit Cesar. Now, if you planned for it or not, don't mind me. As long as you don't actually do it on purpose, I hold no ill will towards you.
To be
You
honest,
showed up.
I'd never done that before in my life. I didn't even know what was happening. But as soon as I felt it, I tried to pull back. It just wasn't enough.
That being said, Nedro did have a point. And while Echo is still working on Cesar, I'm going to stand up and offer my hand over to Misty.
I'll look up at you, and not necessarily with distrust or anything, just a little leery. She'll take your hand.
Ivor will take your hand as the handshake, clasp it over, and draw you in just a little bit. Get him just a little bit close. Not too close. Cesar means more to me than almost anything that I have in this world. And seeing someone that I consider an ally going down at the hands of that situation sort of, how should I say, in this new day and age, hit different. I don't know how to describe it, but you've popped in and out, and I have no reason so far to actually distrust you because you acted on instinct. But your conversation with Nedro, from what I've overheard, the defensiveness was, in my opinion, unnecessary. Again, I'm not going to hold a grudge. I haven't been here that long. And from what you've said, you were born here. I was not. As far as Barovia rules go, I'm still going to give you trust. And hands still clasped, a little bit closer. But please, do not give me a reason to set my scope upon you. Is that understood?
You'd be wise not to make threats you can't keep.
You are a sly one, that I know.
I've also lived my entire life alone. I know how to defend myself. So,
And
be careful in making threats you can't keep.
it's not a threat. And it's not a promise. It's more of a, how should I say, a premonition that I hope that will never come true. I like you, Misty. I really do.
Likewise.
Friends in Barovia are very hard to come by. And luckily, so far, it seems as though I've made a lot of good friends. And I would like to submit you and to one of those good friends. Just as long as you know that just because Cesar is a construct doesn't mean that he doesn't live. He's not just a thing. He is my son. And I would very much like it if you would treat him as such.
Absolutely.
Again, you were acting out of instinct. I understand that. Just Be a little bit more mindful, please.
Hard to be mindful of something you don't even know is going to happen.
That's understood.
There's a
And
faint. Go ahead.
no, that was actually it.
There's a faint clattering that you hear from. It's like distant, coming from the hearth, which boom, 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 boom. Something lands and bounces out and unrolls, and it is a white flag on the ground.
So not Santa Claus.
No, not Santa Claus.
I wanted to see who was more jolly, me or him.
Outside, you guys hear the crunch of snow beneath feet and of a horse. And the faint crackle of flames.
You don't think that guy from the bridge is here, do you?
Well, this is Barovia. A white flag is never a good thing.
Do I hear the fire?
You do hear the fire.
It's coming
Chris?
from the where the horse is.
Coming from outside, out front. Yep.
Riss was writing in their notebook, tears the page out and tries to discreetly press it into Fiona's hand, and then tries to like go look out a window.
Before they do that, I think I'm just going to call out very quietly. I have a very, very bad feeling. We need to get ready now. And he pulls his fucking axe out. I think
so
I think it's Strahd.
you pull your axe out. You discreetly rip this page out and press it into Misty's hand, and you stand up and move to the window to look out. It is the nightmare Bucephalus, flanked by two of the brides, decked out in winter clothing. One is light-skinned, hoods up. This is Anastasia. The other also has her hood up, but dark-skinned, Ludmilla. And on the nightmare is a large figure that you've seen before. Familiar red and gold armor, under a heavy cloak, with the hood up. He lifts up to throw it back. And it is not a figure that Riss has seen before. That's not true. That's not true. It is a darker complexion. Short dark hair, I believe. Let me double check. Pointed ears, white hair. This is a figure you're not familiar with, but you've seen before. The day that the party fell through your roof.
I was gonna say, is it Yana's dad?
It is not Yana's dad.
Okay.
Is it Alejandro?
If you were to step up to the window, you would recognize Alejandro.
Yeah, also to the window as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
motherfucker.
He calls out, "We do not come to fight. There is an issue. We have a problem. A collective problem. We require your assistance."
I mean, if the collective problem is that Barovia sucks, then yeah.
Strahd is missing.
Is that a problem, though?
Gawain looks around and just says, I
I
thought he
actually,
was the land. How do
I
you
actually,
lose the land?
oh, that wasn't a joke. I actually did ask that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great spot to pick up next week.
What the fuck?
That's why it's called cliffhanger.
How do-
Yeah, they're gonna have to do a really good job of convincing Ned that that's a problem. Ned's like, oh, this is
Yeah,
easy.
Riss is kind of like, this is our problem. How? Like,
It's
Stay,
like
stay, you'll say.
it sounds like mission accomplished.
Oh, I mean, mission like half done, but like he's still around somewhere.
Whew,
Oh
boy,
shit,
guys, that was
we
quite
did
the
it, guys.
roller
We
coaster at
defeated
the end.
Strahd.
I've been cursed with knowledge and I hate it.
My only curse is you.
You
But,
asked me to join!
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just doing the Thanos quote at this point. Thank you for joining us, everybody. This has been a wild ride. Another great session from all of you. Wonderful job. Well done as always. Yeah, thanks for following along. We'll get back at it same time next week. We'll see you then. And always remember, you are the legend at the end of the Dragon's Tale. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Right.